Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another episode review of Danmachi. Danmachi goes on break last week during Thanksgiving break, and well, it comes back, and honestly, the wait was worth it. It sucks because if we had gotten this episode last week on Thanksgiving Day, man. Man, we would already be at the war game situation, but regardless, this episode was great. Sadly, Freya had to be put in place by my boy Bell. And my goodness, I did not expect this. I did not expect this. And the tide has turned. Things are back to normal, and it's now seems like we're gonna have a fight for more than likely Bell ownership of Bell, which is crazy. Anyways, let's get into this week's episode. This episode was all sorts of crazy, man. This episode was all sorts of crazy. Again, so we pick up right where he last left off. So now that Bell knows, like, okay, he's a member of the Hestia Familia, he's convinced he's a member of the Hestia Familia, right? So you have him already convinced, and then an attack is happening on the Freya Familia. We later find out it's basically Ryu attacking the Freya Familia members thanks to Horn setting her free. Horn sets her free because Horn has had enough of everything that's been going on. And basically, she ends up having a talk with Belle, telling Belle about what she internally is feeling. And the fact is, like, you did all this to my goddess in Freya, and she's hurt because you rejected her and everything. And essentially, you need to finish this. You need to end this pain. Do this, right? And then that's when Belle finally puts two and two together, realizes that Seer was Freya and especially Horn all along. And basically Horn's telling him, like, you need to save my goddess from, her emotions and everything, because she's clearly bothered, right? And it's like I said a few episodes ago, like, it's clear that deep down, she does still care for the people around her when she was Seer, aka Ryu, and of course she has the affection for Belle. And we saw her looking at the hair clip that Belle got her on the date, and it's like, okay, she's clearly bothered. Like, I think it's already established that it's clear that Freya is definitely, she loves Belle. Like, she actually loves Belle in a romantic way. Her approach to this is definitely crazy and insane, but it's clear that she has a definitive, genuine love for Belle. It isn't something that she's doing this for fun. Um, she's doing this because she genuinely loves him, and because Horn can feel the emotions and she can feel the distress and the sadness within Freya. She's just like, you need to fix this. You need to make my goddess go back to her old self, make her feel normal again before this all ever happened. So then you get probably one of the most intense conversations I've just been dying to see when Belle finally figured out the truth. And that's between Belle and Freya. And holy shit, man. This episode alone was so worth it. Like, before I just came on the review, I legitimately rewatched that dialogue scene between the two of them basically having their argument. And essentially, now after Belle has put two and two together and he knows that it's Seer, Seer is Freya. He comes up in there barging and he's just like, I know who you are. I know you're Seer. And Freya's just like, huh, really? Well, it took you long enough to realize that, but yeah, but Seer's just a made-up character. And it's kind of this whole thing we've been seeing, in the last few episodes where Freya has this approach of, Seer is just a character that I created, I made up, I pretended to be to get what I wanted, and she's dead now. After Belle rejected me as Seer, she's dead now. She does mean nothing to me, she's dead. And Belle's coming across telling her is like, listen, you keep saying you're not Seer or Seer is dead or anything, but deep down, Seer is a part of you. You are Seer deep down. That's a part of your character. That's you deep down. You are Seer, and Freya's just rejecting this, and she's like, "Oh, shut up. She's nothing to me." I just did that as all an act, and it was all fun and games. Yes, did I enjoy the time getting to meet you and Ryu and all the other people? Yeah, but at the end of the day, she was just a character I played just for a bit of fun. And Belle basically retorts to that, is like, well, if that was all fun, then why did you cry that day I rejected you? Um, and he's basically telling her, like, look, I know you're hurt. It clearly bothered you if, you know, I rejected you and you were crying because deep down, I know you're Seer, and deep down, I really did hurt you. So I'm here to try to save you, crazy enough as it sounds. And it's like Belle trying to save Freya from the fact of, like, no, you may be Freya, but you're also Seer, and you need to accept that. I guess that's the thing that, he's trying to tell her, like, accept the fact that Seer is a person, and that's a part of you. Because that's what he does say. He's like, look, he doesn't directly say, like, you're Freya and everything. He literally tells her, like, look, Seer is a part of you. She is you. That's a part of you. That's a part of your character, and that's always going to be there. And he's calling her Seer. And that's kind of the interesting thing. He's not calling Freya Freya. He's calling her Seer because it's like, I know you're Seer. I know that's you. And I want to save you. And Freya's just like, oh, please. You're trying to save me. And everything. And basically, Belle turns on her face like, look, you're doing this. You're having this big ego of everything. And look at what you've done to Arario. Isn't that, like, such an ego? Because she, like, at some point in the discussion fired off at him, talking about, like, oh, you're just doing this because you have some sort of big ego thinking you can save me or something. And, Belle's like, well, please, you have Arario at your basically beck and call, and you're putting your rejection from what I told you, essentially, like, you're harming other people because you're just upset that you got rejected, essentially. And you're doing all this because you're upset that I rejected you. And Belle ends up talking about, like, if you weren't Seer, you wouldn't really care about me rejecting you, but clearly I can tell it affected you. It upsets you. And she kind of got shocked and everything, because he made the mentions like, look, you poured your heart out to me. Clearly, if you were not Seer, you pouring your heart out to me would mean nothing. But clearly, you pouring your heart to me, talking about how much you love me and how much you adore me, it meant something. And she gets a little bit flustered, and she's like, oh. And one of the shocking things is she pulls the hair clip. She pulls out the hair clip, and she's just like, yeah, Seer was very happy when you gave this to her. And my God, now you could clearly tell, like, a few episodes ago, when she pulled out the hair clip, she had the hair clip in her drawer, and she clearly had it for a reason. She kept it because that was something Belle bought her and gave her, and Freya held on to it because she's like, this dude I really like gave me something that meant so much to me. And you can tell, like, oh, no, she loves him. She genuinely loves him. And she genuinely appreciates that Belle gave her a gift. And man, when she just, like, Seer really did love this. She really was happy when you gave her this. And then she legitimately just was like, fuck this. She threw it down on the ground, but shattering it to pieces. I'm like, yo, no. I'm like, there ain't no way this girl is doing this right now. And she broke that, and she's just basically steps on it and breaks it into even more, like, pieces. Basically talking about, like, but I don't care. I'm done with that crap, right? And I'm just like, you're gonna regret that. And I feel like she reluctantly did that to try to prove her point. And I feel like deep down, she's going against what she's saying. It's like the saying goes, the heart wants what the heart wants. She wants to be saved, but she's in denial of saying, I don't need your saving. I can do this just fine. I don't need to be somebody that I'm not. In reality, it's like I said earlier, Seer is a part of Freya. She is a part of Freya, and I've had the speculation that, I'm convinced, like, the more she was pretending to be Seer, she actually enjoyed that lifestyle of not wanting to be a goddess or anything, and she enjoyed it. She wanted to be a regular girl that fell in love with somebody and gets the guy. But she can't have that because she not only has her responsibilities as a god, but she knows, like, Belle likes this other girl, but clearly me being a regular girl wasn't good enough. And Belle's just telling her, it's like, look, your feelings are what they are. Whether you're Seer or you're the goddess Freya, at the end of the day, you're the same person. And guess what? I'm gonna be here to save you. But that's when his back starts to light up on fire, and then Freya's like, wait, what the hell's going on? So what we find out is, like, basically Hermes planned with Hestia, and basically he spread this, like, wood tree bark, basically cleansed in Hestia's blood, to basically start to get people out from under the control of Freya's charm ability, right? And then due to Ossify, Ossify takes Hestia up to one of her tower, and she unleashes the spell Vesta to basically turn everybody back to normal and be under control. And when I saw Hestia do this, I'm like, the first 4 seasons, we barely saw Hestia do anything. Like, she was a poor goddess. It looked like she was probably one of the weaker ones. And you see this, and you're just like, holy hell. Frick, man. She might actually be a lot stronger than we look. Like, she talks about, like, lustfulness is evil, chastity is good. And she just unleashes this worldwide spell to turn everybody back to normal. And because of it, it gets everybody in Arario pissed off because they realize, oh shit, Freya did this to us. All because of this petty, stupid stuff she was doing, right? So everybody's upset at Freya. They want a piece of Freya. Then you have it to where Hestia reunites with Belle, and she's like all hugging over him. She's like, I'm so sorry, Belle. I didn't mean to do anything. We do see the other Hestia Familia members. They all end up being very upset with what they did and how the way they treated Belle, clearly. And basically Wolf comes in and says, well, if you want to make it up to Belle, let's go save him. Let's go get him, right? And you can go apologize to him in person. So essentially, everybody's all up against Frey and everything, and it seems like, oh, Frey is completely lost. How is she gonna get out of this? It's like, and I'm just listening, like, are they gonna kill Frey off? Because clearly these people in Aurora are gonna be so upset about it, right? And then that's when Frey basically suggests, and she's like, Hestia, there's only one outcome to see how we can conclude this and handle this. And she's like, let's do a war games. And that's where the episode ends off. And I'm guessing the remaining part of the season will be this war game between the Hestia Familia and the Freya Familia, which is going to be crazy, man. Going to be crazy. I think I already know what. And we saw a war game in season 2 at the start of season 2, because that's how they got their big mansion. Listen, what I feel like, I think clearly we know what Freya is putting on the line. If I win the war games, I get Belle. We know that. I don't know what the Hestia Familia will ask for. Maybe it will have something to do. Maybe Belle will make his stipulation and be like, if you lose, you have to become Seer, and you have to accept the fact that you're Seer, or something like that. I feel like that would make sense. I don't know where it's gonna go. But it's gonna be interesting to see what the stipulation for this war game is. I think we already know from Frey's perspective what it is. It's gonna be like, if you lose, Hestia, you have to turn over Belle's right to be in your familia over to me, and he'll be an official member of the Freya Familia. And I just feel like for Belle's case, his whole thing is going to be like, well, if we win, you have to accept being Seer again. So, it's gonna be interesting to see where it's gonna go. And now it also makes sense with the opening, with the fact that we see them fighting the Freya Familia, because it's gonna be the war game. And clearly Ryu is gonna more than likely be on the Hestia Familia team. I don't know if I don't know if Ice will be on the team. Probably not. It seems like the team will be Belle, Ryu, Wealth, frick. Probably not Lily because she can't fight. Maybe Lily, well, mostly because the strategist ability she got from season 4. Haruhime may be involved. I could see Aisha being involved, helping them out because she's kind of been a little bit of a helper. Honestly, it's shocking that she joined the Hermes family. To be honest, she could have probably joined the Hestia family realistically, right? And then it's definitely gonna be um, Miku or whatever, and we'll see where that's gonna go and everything. So, yeah, war games, man. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen because things are about to light up. I can't wait to see what next Thursday has to offer. I'm so excited for Danmachi, man. I don't know if this season's gonna outclass season 4 because I did love season 4. I think season 4 is the best season, but holy shit. The more I keep watching, the more I'm gonna be like, listen, man, this season is legit. I'm really liking this season, so definitely have to see where we go on from here. Looking forward to it and things like that. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode, and hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Danmachi content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe with there and have a good rest of your day or night. Till then, guys, peace.